Welcome back to the Silver Lining, where it's no filler, no fluff, but we keeps it a buck. And today, I'm going to be talking about Kendrick Lamar, Lupe Fiasco. Is this anything? Now, I just recently did a video about Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish. Same thing. I was asking, is this anything? I'll link that in the description below if you want to check that one out. So with this one, this has been an interesting one. It's been kind of going for a while here. So the thing is, this thing starts with love. So Kendrick Lamar actually brought Lupe Fiasco out on stage at a show he was doing in Chicago. Lupe came out, gave him dap. He gave him what he called the Next Big Thing Award. And you could tell there was genuine respect. They're both probably fans of each other. You know, you can definitely hear in Kendrick's music that he was definitely influenced by Lupe. You can hear in Kendrick's music he was influenced by Lupe. So it's not really a surprise, right? So everything started out fine. It started out as love.
I can't help but, to represent and thank somebody that helped me for enlightening myself. Lupe motherfucking Fiasco. I have one award right there amongst the many, and that award is called the Next Big Thing Award, right? Now, I can give this award to anybody that I want. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I went through, I sat down, and it was like, I want you to think hard, think real hard, Lupe, about who you want to get this Next Big Thing Award to, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna think about this. And I said, there's only, out of the many, there's only one guy that I am a fan of, that I think deserves this award. So, the Next Big Thing Award goes to my big homie Kendrick.
However, this thing actually starts at the same place that the Drake and Kendrick Lamar thing started, the Control Verse. So for those who don't know, the Control Verse was a song where Kendrick was featured on it. And on that song, you know, Kendrick just goes crazy. He starts name dropping rappers that, you know, all-time great rappers. And he calls himself the King of New York and all this good stuff. And then he gets to a part where he starts name dropping like rappers who are in his generation. So he says, Big Sean and Pusha T, Drake, right? And he says, I got love for y'all, but I'm trying to murder y'all. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of y'all, right? So I'm going to put it like this. I don't think that Kendrick was trying to diss anybody on that verse. I think what Kendrick was doing is he was laying down the gauntlet of competition. I'm laying down a gauntlet of competition. I think I'm the best. I got love for y'all, but understand I'm coming for all y'all. That's what I kind of thought it was. I never thought it was like him directly dissing, but at the same time, I completely understand how Drake would look at it and be like, wait a second, what? Like at the end of the day, you're still saying my name on the track and you're saying you want to murder me. Completely understand how Drake would take offense to that, for sure. Now, where Lupe comes into play is that if you listen to that verse, the feeling of that verse is basically saying, I'm naming all these people, but if I don't say your name, you pretty much don't matter. That's kind of the feel of the song. Lupe's name was not mentioned. And it's one more thing I want to note is that on that song, there were a lot of rappers who actually responded to it. It wasn't just Lupe. A lot of rappers did respond to it. For the most part, nobody dissed them. They just took the beat, rapped over it, just to showcase, like, I get busy on the microphone, too. It's really a dope moment for hip-hop, honestly. But Lupe responded not by getting on the beat, but by doing his own songs. He did 2 tracks, one called SLR2, one called SLR3. Stands for Super Lupe Rap. And on both of those songs, he takes some jabs at Kendrick. And nothing crazy. He just takes a couple little jabs, But the overall point of the song was just to showcase I rap better than you. That's all it really was. But the fact he threw some jabs in there, that does play a part. That absolutely does play a part into it. He did throw a couple of jabs at him. Now, in a 2014 interview he did at Hot 97, Lupe said that he was a fan of Kendrick, though he doesn't think he's the best lyricist in the game, and he said he felt like MF Doom was the best lyricist in the game, which there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. But the thing is, I don't quite understand why he has to add that other part to it. Like, if someone asks you if you're a fan of somebody, just say, yeah, I'm a fan, he's doing his thing. And I don't understand why you add the extra part to it if he's not the best lyricist in the game. But where this interview actually gets interesting is he actually goes on to say in that interview that he thinks that Logic is a better rapper than Kendrick Lamar. And first of all, let's just say Logic is dope. Like, Logic gets a lot of hate. Logic is dope. Logic is definitely dope. Obviously, I mean, saying he's better than Kendrick Lamar is a bit crazy. And I think Lupe was trolling. He said as much when he was talking to Joe Budden about it.
And Logic's piece was I did Rosenberg, and they were talking about Kendrick, and I was like, man, I was lightweight trolling Peter Rosenberg because he was all on Kendrick's nuts, and I was like,
always.
I was like, Logic's better than Kendrick. Now I was like, King Los is better than everybody. He's better than Kendrick. He's better than me.
So yeah, I think he's clearly trolling there because the guy who's interviewing him is named Peter Rosenberg, is a huge Kendrick fan, So I think he was just trying to troll him a little bit by just saying Logic is better than him. I don't think that was a diss per se, but as these things add up, you'll see where it's like, okay, like you kind of keep saying stuff, right? So let's fast forward to January 5th, 2018. Lupe Fiasco went on Twitter and expressed that he felt like the Kendrick Lamar and SZA track on the Black Panther soundtrack, All the Stars, had a cover work, artwork, and he felt like it was very similar to the cover art for some of the album he was doing for Draga's Light, I believe. And yeah, I mean, looking at it, I mean, they're I guess there's some similarities here. I don't think it's that big of a thing, but I don't know. I mean, he thinks it's a little close for comfort. He thinks, and if you look at what he's saying here, he's saying, even I admit this is a little too close for comfort. Damn, I guess I need a new album cover. Thanks. All black album covers, backward albums, Ninja. Now this is getting suspiciously delicious. Like it feels like it's jokes. Like it doesn't feel like he's like really throwing a shot. It's not like, Raekwon on the Purple Tapes talking about Biggie. Like you bit Nas's album cover. Like it didn't feel like that, but and sometimes they say truth is said and just. So I don't know. That could be something there. Kendrick's manager, Dave Free, responded to that and he said, Lupe Fiasco, go push yourself into a tree with these wild allegations. And then Lupe responded with one of the most Lupe response ever. He said, I see what you did there. However, it's rather impossible to skate into a tree because most trees are located in grass where skateboards don't actually work well due to the wheels, not really optimal for transversing across such terrain. Now, a car or a well-placed gate. So, I mean, it's the most Lupe response ever. So, yeah, and he does obviously also go on to say, we're going to keep it because I made it and it's dope. But I want everyone to mark the date so that y'all don't retroactively accuse of biting K-Dot's album art when Wave drops. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like jokes, but it seems like there's something. It feels like there's something beneath it. Like it feels like jokes, but it feels like beneath that there's something going on there. So. Yeah, so now we go to January 6, 2018, where Lupe made a couple of tweets where he was talking about the Control Verse. So Control Verse is making its appearance again, and Lupe Fiasco went on Twitter to say the following. I put it to you like this. K-Dot is not a top tier lyricist to me in my standards when it comes to punchlines and bars. His overall lyrics are good. His stories are phenomenal. But punchline and tendre lyrically, I don't see it. I've never been destroyed. Also, only issue the world thinks I have with K Dot, and I actually do, is that his control verse was whack and super overhyped to be a verse claiming that you are the best rapper. So look, I mean, Kendrick's verse was that. It was, laying the gauntlet down and whatnot. I thought the verse was dope. So, I mean, I disagree with Lupe there, but I do understand how Lupe would look at it and say, bruh, like, you acting like you the best and you're not better than me. Like, that's just how rappers think. Like, when you do a verse like that, a guy like Lupe is gonna be like, okay, the verse was cool, but you can't rap better than me. So that's all it really is. Now, he did apologize for his critique on Instagram Live, stating, maybe I should have left it alone, even though my impetus was the control verse. I mean, you put yourself out there like that, so you open yourself up for critique. But even still, I should have shut my fucking mouth. I apologize for even engaging about these niggas' careers. I'll never do that shit again. So yeah, it's not much of an apology, which kind of goes into my next point, is that when J. Cole recently bent the knee to Kendrick, and just, I'm not gonna get into that, but when after what J. Cole did to Kendrick, as far as his backing down from the challenge, an article was posted talking about different rappers who've apologized to Kendrick Lamar, and they put Lupe Fiasco as one of those people. Lupe Fiasco didn't want his name mentioned next to J. Cole bending a knee, and I don't really blame him for that. And he says, I wasn't apologizing to him. I was sorry about the entire shindig because it was such a waste of time and energy and something that actually had nothing to do with me. Keep my name clean. I fear no rapper any kind or any time. K. Dot solid, but y'all need to chill. I mean, I don't really have an issue with it, because I think that when you try to lump his name next to what J. Cole did, I understand how he would lash out and say, hold on now, let's get this straight. I'm not J. Cole, because I really don't have a problem with that one. But this stuff, as you can see, is building up here. All right, on September the 20th, 2022, Lupe once again said that he was a better lyricist than Kendrick Lamar. The following day, he, in his own words, decided to talk about that. He deleted the tweet, which, I mean, again, I don't understand the deleting tweet stuff, but after saying he was a better lyricist, he went on to say the following. In my own words, once again for you bitches, I love me some K. Dot. Always have, always will. With that said, do I think he's a good lyricist? Yes. Do I think he's the best lyricist? No. Do I think it's lyricists that are better than him? Yes. Is he a better artist than me? Yes. Is he a better lyricist than me? No. Does he make better songs than me? Yes. Did I think Control was ridicule? No. Am I jealous of K. Dot? No. Did I personally give him props in Chicago on stage as the next nigga to take the crown? Yes. Is it on camera? Yes. Did I mean it? Yes. So a lot there. I mean, look, Lupe, I mean, he's giving him props. He's saying that he's a better artist than him, which I actually don't even know. I mean, I think this is debatable. I think everything that he said as far as is Kendrick a better artist than him and is he a better lyricist, I think all that is debatable. I think both of them are great. Both of them are incredible. So, he makes better songs. I mean, it's debatable, but I think they're both great. He has given Kendrick a lot of props here. But I don't know, something still just feels so, like, why even get into all this? Like, people are going to keep asking you about Kendrick because you keep saying stuff like that. Like if I'm doing an interview with Lupe Fiasco, how can I not bring up Kendrick Lamar when you've kind of shown a history? You're going to give me something good if I ask about it, So it's just like, I don't know. Lupe, he doesn't always have to answer the question. Just kind of let it be. Just give a political answer. Kendrick is dope and kind of keep it moving, And like, again, he gives him props. Like Lupe teaches a rap course at MIT, and he did a lecture about Kendrick. He was talking about the song he did on Good Kid, Mad City, the Sing About Me track, So he gives him props. And he went on to give him more props on May 13th, 2022, after he released Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And he said, reporting from Hawaii, exceptional work, Mr. Lamar. So again, continues to give him props. However, in a 2004 interview he did with Averb, Averb straight asked him, like, who do you think is better out of Kendrick and Drake? And it's like, he doesn't even hesitate. He immediately says, Drake.
Drake or Kendrick?
Drake.
Drake is a better rapper
Yeah.
than Kendrick. Do you like? So is it by a long shot?
Not really. Drake got bars, which you know.
Okay.
And you know that. So you know I ain't capping when I say
For sure.
right. So I would give it to Drake. I think Kendrick's a better technically skilled performer, but I don't think he's a better rapper.
Perform.
Yeah, that's a difference.
So okay, so you ain't never heard Kendrick and feel like he was one of the most
Like he was what?
like
You cut out,
he
bro.
was one of the most dangerous rappers?
No.
No. So Kendrick puts no.
You ain't never felt that.
Yes, I have. I felt he was very dangerous, for sure.
You felt like he was dangerous to you?
I felt like Kendrick Lamar still to this day. He's very surgical with words. Absolutely.
Dangerous to dangerous to you.
Well, no, I don't think none of y'all dangerous to me. Like you.
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So that's my
Yeah.
sentiment.
I'm saying as far as like.
Because if that was the case, you think he'd be dangerous to you, but he's not dangerous to you. I know he's not dangerous to you.
So,
I know that.
So is he dangerous to you? Because I'm way more ahead of you though.
You way more ahead of me.
And skill, boy, you know you ain't crazy.
Skill sets.
For sure.
Okay. Who else believe that?
I do.
Who else believe that Averb is a better rapper than Lupe Fiasco?
Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers. Why wouldn't we?
Let's do the count.
What you mean count? You want to take a poll on it or something?
Take the poll.
Like immediately, there's nothing even to think about. And like earlier in that interview, he asked him about, are you a J guy or a Nas guy? And he gave a more political answer to kind of give props to both. But this one, he immediately just says Drake. Drake is better. And it's like, Lupe is one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's forgotten better raps than I'll ever write. But I just don't know how you can say Kendrick is not better than Drake as an artist, but I would love for him to expound upon that. If he actually would sit down and talk about why he thinks that that Drake is better, I'd love to hear it. I think that maybe he's talking more so about like the wittiness and clever bars and stuff like that Drake can do. Like when Drake gets into his like them timestamp tracks, a lot of good wordplay and clever bars on this. Maybe he's talking about that possibly. But I wish he could expound upon that to kind of give us more insight on it. So maybe if he did that, it would be less. People would feel differently about it if he kind of gave some more details on why he felt that way. So yeah, I mean, but I think that he's entitled to his opinion. But it's just that after everything else I've just said, and now immediately he Drake, it makes you just feel like there's something there. And I mean that brings us to today and the recent events that's happened, where Dame Dash put a tweet out saying that his share of Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt was for sale, and Lupe responded and said to sell it to Drake. He said Drake will take good care of it. And I think that after what people feel about Drake right now, after the Kendrick battle, for better or for worse, what people feel about him, I don't know if this is the time to say that he should buy a stake in one of the greatest rap albums ever. Kendrick brought up, Drake owning the ring that Tupac wore. And I think maybe Lupe was just saying that because it seems like Drake has purchased a lot of hip hop stuff, with Tupac's ring, Pharrell's chains. He has a microphone signed by the Clips. So I think maybe that's where he was coming from. But it just seems like a weird thing to say right now. It seems like a weird thing to say right now, especially because I found out later that Dame Dash actually said that it would be cool if Kendrick Lamar would buy it and whatnot. And so for him to come right back behind that and say, no, let's have Drake buy it after everything that's happened, it just feels like that there's something there, man. So that's kind of where we stand today. Obviously, after he said that, it brought a lot of other conversations about this, and Lupe has been lashing out and saying, how can you be the the spokesman of hip hop if you haven't sold as many records as this guy or did as many tours as this guy. And again, he clarifies that he wasn't talking about Kendrick, and it's just like, then why it sound like it, man? So it's just crazy, man. So, bottom line, do I think this is anything? Yeah, it's something. It's absolutely something. I can't quite put my finger on what it is from Lupe's perspective, because if you notice, there's nothing really coming back in the direction to Lupe. Like, Kendrick hasn't really said anything, unless, because I researched this, I haven't found what Kendrick has really said anything to Lupe. So it seems to be coming from one direction. But yeah, this is something. I mean, maybe it's something just as simple as, here's what I honestly think it is. I think that Lupe is looking at Kendrick, and he's looking at people compare him to Nas and compare him to Pac and Big, and putting him up there with Jay and M. And I think that Lupe is like, how y'all putting him up there with them and he not better than me? I think that's what it is. So I think this is just rap stuff. This is just, I think I'm better than you. I think that he's been on the dance floor asking for Kendrick to come to the dance floor. I think that's really all it is. I think he wants to have a friendly fade with him on the microphone. And I think that's all it is. But it's something. It's absolutely something. So I'm going to leave it there. This is the Silver Lining. Thank you for watching. Peace.